Rage. This is Rasslin Rage. Cody Fleming is the man who leads the brigade. It's going down. This is Rasslin Rage. We'll do it now. This is Rasslin Rage. This is Rasslin Rage. Cody Fleming is the man who leads the brigade.
And now it's time for Rasslin Rage with your host, Cody Fleming.
Hola, senors and senoritas. Welcome to the Rasslin Rage YouTube channel. I am Cody Fleming, 1/3 of Rasslin. Well, I don't even know if I'm 1/3 or 1/2 anymore. But anyways, I'm one of the guys on Rasslin Rage and Michigan Independent Weekly and a bunch of other stuff. Tonight, you're here for round two. Duel. I don't know how to say two in French, but round two. Yeah, thank you. There we go. Round two of Indie Idol, the promo competition based here out of the state of Michigan. We do have some folks in here that are not from Michigan. Well, one, I think. Fletch Malone. So we are here to do that. Before we get into any of that, please smash the thumbs up. I'm looking at you, Trevor Sherrod. Make sure that you subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell. The bell allows you to be notified when things like Indie Idol go live, like right now. So make sure you guys all do that. And then, of course, scroll down in the description. Give Rasslin Rage, Michigan Independent Weekly, and all that stuff a follow on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and any other social media thing that we got down there, because those are awesome. And then, of course, we have all of our wonderful sponsors. All their links are down there as well. They make a lot of things possible, like Indie Idol, like the awards, like everything that we do, because, you know, they help us pay the bills. So you know, we got to pay bills nowadays, and everything's going up. That's what sucks right now. Gas is going up. Everything's going up. What? Somebody's yelling at me. I don't know why. But anyways, okay. So, welcome, everybody. Welcome, ABZ. ABZ, again, a judge this year. Davison Sarai, first time this year joining us. Both former Indie Idols. Well, not former. They are Indie Idols. I keep saying that. I need to smack myself every time, you know, like to remind myself not to say
now
that.
And forever. Right. Always an idol.
So 2021 Indie Idol, ABZ. 2022 Davison Sarai. 2023 still to be decided yet. And I it's right here. You can't see it, but it is here. This thing, you know.
There it is.
There it is.
There it is. This is what we play for.
And that just changed the game just slightly, right? So here we are to talk about them, and we're going to jump right in because it takes a while to get through this stuff. So in the way I did this time to go through them is, you know, we create the playlist. I went from the top of the playlist, let the playlist play, and then went through them and pause it, write my stuff down, right? And now I'm going to tell you guys, everybody that's watching, including the participants in this tournament, I had to watch these over and over and over and over, because they are very close. A lot of them are very close for me anyways, okay? So we're going to start it out with The Spider versus Annie, all right? I have notes about both. So Spider, I'm going to start with you, my man. Dude, you made the notes that we gave you for the last round. You took those notes. You used them. You made a much better promo. You hit this one out of the park. Okay, so good job on that. The allocation of the different tones, again, something that we talked about in the last promo. I seen that here, and you saved that real emotional for the end, and that's exactly where it needed to be on that one for me. So good job on you for that one. You really got your point across, right? I really understood there was a story. Not only were you telling us about the suffrage of the spider, but the evolution of the spider. So the story's there. We know why you're there, why you're next to a gutter. Next to a dumpster. It makes sense with the promo and what you're talking about, the background, right? The glasses, and I'm going to talk about this with other people. The glasses I don't have a problem with using the glasses, but if the glasses would have come off as you came into that camera, I would have been way more sold on that moment. But I do enjoy, I'm not saying you did it wrong. I'm just saying it would have made it better. That's all I'm saying. Because I got to start looking for this stuff. Other than that, dude, those are the only notes I have for you on my side of it. But it was a great promo. I really enjoyed that promo. Annie, there's some continuity here from your last promo to this one with your book and all that stuff. You didn't read from the book, and I'm going to let other people talk about this, but there's more confidence here compared to the last promo. There's a lot more confidence, and that's what we need to see for you to be believable in the promos and what you're saying, right? So keep that up. I don't know what you're doing to get that confidence, but whatever it is you're doing, keep doing that plus some so that you continue to get that confidence. Your eyes. So in the beginning of the promo, you're right in on the camera. But as you get towards the end of the promo, I see you start looking off to the side a lot. And that becomes a distraction to me because I'm like, what is going on there? Why are you, what is there somebody coming up? Is there something going on? I'm anticipating something, or I think there's something going on, or maybe you're looking at something, okay? But those are mine for you. This was close for me, but Spider won this one, and it was only by a very small margin of like 0.5 on this one for me. So I gave that one to Spider. ABZ or Davison, which one? Who wants to take it? Davison? Go ahead, Davison.
Yeah. Well, part of what Annie's been doing is we're having ongoing conversations because I've said I'm pretty committed to helping you really try to find your way through this thing. I know you want it. I know you want to be performing at a higher level, like more confidently. Well, let me try to help. I don't really have to say much about Spider. I basically agree with everything you just said. I think when you listen to people in this contest talk, even outside of the context they're bringing, you can just tell who's really comfortable just speaking extemporaneously, just right off the top of the head, comfortably. Spider's right up there. Very natural. And I'm glad he brought the tone down. I think that was good. I see exactly what you're talking about with Annie. A big improvement, more direct eye contact, more like force, I think, towards the beginning, especially. This is a note for everybody, and I'm going to focus on this whole time in this entire round. Cohesion. Did your parts flow into each other well? And were you able to get through your stuff sounding naturally, or did you have little unnatural like stutters? Because for me, and Alex did the same thing. If I'm shooting a promo and I get to a point where I'm stuttered, press stop, record, and I'm starting over. It doesn't mean everybody's got to, but I am judging them that way. And when somebody nails it and somebody's not. Also, I want to know, is somebody looking off to read, or is it a thing of looking at the screen, then looking at the lens, then looking at the screen, then looking at the lens? If that's what it is, we can work on that. I don't like the idea of somebody looking at cue cards personally. Because I don't know, I'm going to say that Spider took this, but I do want to say I appreciate the fact that Annie either intentionally or unintentionally made a really amazing anal sex joke. Annie, if that was on purpose, that backdoor trap is set.
Oh, Lord.
And ready. Anyway, Spider for the win in this round. Annie, big improvement.
Yeah,
keep doing that.
Sure. Look at this guy with his big stogies.
You guys said a lot of
World
things that I
fixation.
already wanted to say. I think you guys nailed it. So all I'm going to do is throw on a little razzle dazzle for both people. So Spider, really good. I'm going to tell you right now, you actually scored in the top 15 percentile on this one for me. This was a really, really strong promo, especially for a monologue. You are very comfortable in your own character. And I want to kind of say this to everyone else. I'm hoping that people are listening to more than just their own critiques, or listening to other people's critiques because they bleed together. But that said, you do a really good job of blending real life and your character and those emotions. And that's something that a lot of the greats do in order to really give off that believability and that ability to shoot from the hip and to talk beyond the context of just the promo itself. You can kind of move into all this other stuff. You can be comfortable in segments. You can be comfortable just doing your character in a crowd, that kind of stuff. Now, As Cody said earlier with the sunglasses, I agree. Talk with your eyes. Your eyes are one of the strongest weapons you have. And you have this great background. And once you want to start going from like really good to great, you start using your environment. Like everything is a prop. Everything. The dumpster, that's a prop. The fucking bandana, your glasses, the wind, it doesn't, everything is canon. Everything, right? If I'm on the mic in front of a crowd and my mic starts going, wow, that's good. Fine. I don't care. That's part of the show. What do you idiots get me a mic that works? What? Am I the only one out here with any kind of money? Boom, right there. I just made it part of the show. Everything is canon. Even the things that go wrong, even the things that you have, everything is a weapon. Everything is a tool. I'm not saying that you didn't do that. But I think you could do it more, right? Annie, you have your own special thing right there. The book, right? The Book of Shadows. That's your going to be your special sauce possibly down the stretch. Okay. Right now you got to clean up some of the little stuff. You stumbled on the word smart early on. You did a good job of keeping eye contact. And let me give you a little bit of advice as far as looking off to the side, not just say, don't do it, right? You can, it's fine. But when you do, disguise that shit. So what I'm talking about is like, if you're going to look over to the side and you need to take a look, you need to take a moment, you take a sip, whatever it is, right? You're going to disguise it. So you're going to intentionally create that pause, boom. And now you come right back. That didn't feel unnatural. No. But that does. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So think of it as like, if you're in the ring, I know you're not an in-ring performer, but this is just like in the ring, right? You can just as much, like, let's say we're in the corner and I need to call a spot and we're in the middle of my heat, right? And I have my hair down because I do take it down now more often than not. Boom. I have him in the corner. The crowd is quiet. I'm right there. I could say something. I need to say, hey, duck one, fire up. Coming out of this spot, they're all quiet, right? I don't want to talk to him right now. But pull it back. Bam, big chop. What's the crowd going to do? Woo! That gives me a second. Duck one, fire up. Boom. Now we got it, right? Same thing. I just disguised it, right? We just disguised it. Boom, chin lock. Ask him, ref. Get ready. Give me two. Watch the hair pull. Same deal. Boom. I'll pull my hair in my face for a second. Ask him, ref. Boom. Okay.
Alex, I agree with everything you're saying, but man, yep. You are giving away the secret sauce. You're going to have some heat with the wrong people.
Hey, I'm going to tell you right now, everything that I'm giving away right now, you can also find said by guys like Billy Gunn, Al Snow, Samoa Joe in the seminars, if you're willing to actually watch those on YouTube, where this platform is. So if you want to give me heat for that, you also have to speak to Billy Gunn and all
You're
of that.
You're speaking logically. I'm not responding to the logical people.
Right. So if you want to give me heat, then please give heat to all the people there. If you want to learn, this is what you're learning, right? Yes. So that said, disguise your stuff. Figure it out. Good work. Much more on the facials this time. I like that a lot. You're going to have to take a little while to figure out how to make that feel more natural. That's just going to come with time. It's going to come with who you are. But the reason I'm talking about this is because performing in the ring and your promos are, and the way you talk, your character, it's kind of the same thing. You're doing the same thing. You're working, right? Same deal. Both situations. Took me a while to learn that. And the more you learn how to do that, the better it's going to be, especially when you start creating a flow between your promos and your character and the segments. Let it all become one thing. So it's never a break between the two. It's always just flowing and it's always so natural. And that's that next level of natural. Any big improvement, keep doing what you're doing. Keep finding ways. Watch yourself. I know it's annoying to listen to your own voice, right? Film it, watch it. Do it again. Film it, watch it, do it again. Because I think the thing that you want right now are reps. You need reps to figure out how your character does things naturally. Mm-hmm. Okay. And getting more comfortable with your character. Spider, this was one of the strongest promos I've ever seen from you. Already very good. Take that shit up to great. You got this one, and with one of the higher scores of the week.
All right. So Spider on that one. So before we move on to the next one, Annie, this was a great promo. There's just things to work on, and today Spider was just a little bit better. So there's nothing wrong with this, and you can definitely get better and keep moving on. All right, so next up, woo, the mega monsters of all monsters, Jamie Eternal versus Road Rash. We're gonna get right into this one. Oh boy, man. Two giants in the world of promos, right? Road Rash, ABZ, you're familiar with Road Rash. You went against Road Rash in the finals in the first Indie Idol, right? And you know, Jamie Eternal, he knows all about this. So I will say that one cool thing, it's a couple things. Jamie Eternal, it looks like he did it in one take. Okay. Use of props. He used props. You know, the knife and the hammer, and he used them to tell the story of the two. You know, like, so the hammer represented Road Rash and the knife represented him. It was a story. A lot of character. Again, he's got his character dialed in. Can he go somewhere else other than where he's currently at with that character, though? That's the question. Going further down the road for me, because we know, Davison kind of talked about this when in the chats, where like, and it wasn't directed at just one person, it was directed at everybody, but what we did with these promos is we stripped everything away and said, okay, here's your baseline, right? And this is basically your baseline of your promo right now. No special effects, no music. You could use props. You could cut it, but Davison challenged everybody to cut it in one take. And can you take it somewhere else other than where everybody knows it's been, right? You know, like, can it be slightly different for this competition? Because we know what you can do right now without the special effects. We know what you can do with the special effects. What can you do with it all and make it even better than what it is now? And I'm not saying better, but take it to somewhere else, right? That, you know, it doesn't have to be better, because I think you got it pretty much dialed in. It's just, is there something else that can be done? Because we've seen a Jamie Eternal promo, right? We've seen them. What can be different? And I'm not saying this is a bad promo, because it's not, by far. Road Rash, this one you did cut, okay? So there was cuts, and you could see them. You could visually see the cuts. There was one cut that really fucked with me. There was a cut in there. It broke it up. Like, there was a spot, you stopped, and then it picked up this. It just, the cut was a little off. And so, and that was the one spot that I had to ding you on. But this was a very close, and I gave this one to Jamie Eternal again by point. This was only by 0.5 on this one, by 0.5. So ABZ
I'll go second on this one.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm gonna start with Road Rash on this.
Okay. All right. That sounds good.
I thought there were several cuts that kind of took me out of it, to be totally honest with you. And inside of it, there were one or two little stumbles that maybe someone else might not have heard, but I know your tone, I know your cadence, I know your timbre, I know how you talk. And there were a few little ones where it's like, you did a good job of covering it up, as I brought up in the last critique of the last other of Annie and Spider. Your experience is shown right there, right? How to cover it up. Like, if you start something, you immediately, like, you go into the dance. Do you know what I'm saying? You go into the character work, the body language to kind of cover up you add the frustration to pretend it's not really there, but I can see it now. Do you know what I'm saying? Which is good. That's kind of a compliment, right? But in this case, you knew who you were up against. You could have reshot that, right? Cutting in the middle of a thought, tricky, right? Redo that, please. The emotion is always just like, yeah, what more can you ask for when it comes to Road Rash? Right? Emotion 10 out of 10 every time, always, never going to be not that, right? Character, always going to be there, right? I give you 9 this time, but character's always going to be there. This time, I felt like maybe some of the chinks in the armor got exposed with this style, with the stripped down style. because in a pure cut it in the ring promo, I think we would have saw some of that uneasiness kind of come out a little bit. I don't think you would have broken character, but I think there would have been a few more stumbles. That's, you would have played those off really well. And to the lame folk, they would not have known, but to the people who see you a lot, are very familiar with their character, who understand, they might have seen it a little bit, right? Jamie Eternal, you did it very well in one take. You killed the monologue. You used, both of you, by the way, brought up history. Both of you brought up each other's characters. Mm-hmm. Both of you, showed each other a lot of respect. You love to see that. And you put each other over while also putting yourself over that person. That's a masterclass in that. Anyone who is newer in this competition, or even if you're not even in this competition, if you're a newer person trying to learn how to cut a better promo, watch these promos and how they talk about each other. It couldn't be, it's not going to get better than that, right? Now, I love little Jamie Eternalisms. He closed on a Predator 2 line. You love, if the more you know Jamie Eternal, the more you can pay attention and figure out his little Easter eggs that he throws in there. I thought it was a very smooth monologue. It told us exactly who Jamie Eternal was. It told me exactly who Road Rash was. This was really strong, as you do. Now, I think what Cody is trying to say, and this is something that I also would like to see down the stretch. I understand not wanting to play all of your cards right now, right? And because you want to build to a crescendo, and you guys already have, but this is for both of you, by the way. Both of you already have so much, like character and so much history built into what you're doing. So now I feel like in this phase, you're kind of onboarding new fans. Something I'm not trying to think about is doing something different with it. Like, I can only kind of give you an example of what I might do in this situation. And again, I think this is kind of what he's asking, right? So let's say I'm doing the AVZ promos from the chair or whatever, and I have the cigar and I'm talking, now I have the chessboard. Cool. Now I move to somewhere else, maybe now I'm in some 5-star restaurant, but now on this last one, okay, I'm on the street somehow, and what's this? What is this peasant asking me questions? How dare you ask me questions? You know what I mean? But now you changing not only the location, but how I'm interacting. Now I'm interacting with an individual, okay? That changes everything, right? Now it's a different promo altogether. You can show me a different side of yourself. Maybe Jamie Eternal or Road Rash runs into another character that's not in this competition, and now you have to deal with them, okay? And now you can both play off each other and run it that way. That's another option to show things that haven't been shown before, right? I don't know for sure if that's the route you want to go. Just ideas for the future. I know you guys are both going to bring it. For me, Jamie Eternal won this one. It wasn't as close for me, but I know both of these guys are very, very good, very, very comfortable. This is just a matter of using you guys more as an example of what to do down the stretch.
I used to watch the dunk contest when I was younger. I don't like basketball that much, but I do like the dunk contest. I want to see what people can do. Yeah. And if you know anything about that, Michael Jordan showed up, he fucking destroyed it. But he didn't do that many dunk contests because he had already kind of dominated. I think with these two specifically, if we want to use that metaphor, Jordan could probably just show up year 3, year 4, year 5, year 6, and just do the same dunks and keep winning, because these younger players are still getting their shit together, right? But would it be an exciting competition if you did? That's kind of the way I'm looking at this. I don't want anybody to think we're looking to change your character in terms of in-ring work or who you are, but this is a contest about creativity, stretching, trying to beat a competitor in a certain kind of a way. Being able to is one thing, but being willing to do more stuff is another. That's the point I'm kind of ultimately trying to make for the sake of this contest. Right. This was incredibly close for me. I really had to do the weighing out of live. You get one shot, and Doug did one take. Boom. At the same time, what have I been saying from the beginning? I like believability, intensity, and emotional stuff. In that regard, I think that Road Rash actually was more in that regard in this week. More believable, more genuinely scary to me. If I didn't know those two, I'd be more likely to have a conversation with Jamie, more likely to run for my fucking life from road rash. Now, if I take those and I try to measure them out, you still have to do it in one shot. And I said, if you can do it in one versus clips,
Right.
if all things are equal, I'm going to go with the one. And honestly, if road rash had done that in one take, this would be one of the most awkward nights of my fucking life, because I'd have to be saying some shit that I really hope I don't have to say at some point. Doug got it for me.
All right.
That much.
All right. So Jamie Eternal on that one. All right. So circle that. Now we move on to Trevor Stroud versus Josh Morris. We talked about this a little bit before we went live. Why don't you go first there, Miss Davison?
Okay. I really like this round a lot, and I like the fact that they were very different. I said last time I was really stoked on seeing where Trevor would go with things, how he might evolve. And I feel like all the notes we gave, more presence, more direct engagements, less of that kind of detachment stuff.
Right.
Nailed all of that. There's something about Trevor, and it took me until today to finally figure out what the word was. He takes those glasses off and he says, "Look in my eyes." He wasn't like scary, menacing, threatening. He wasn't exactly mad. He was definitely intense. I couldn't figure out what the ingredient was that I was liking so much. There's like a vulnerability when he was that mad. Like his eyes were almost like not sad, but like it's very unique. I had a hard time labeling it for this whole week. That's what it was. It felt almost a vulnerable kind of like, how dare you anger. I loved it. The one issue I had was that it felt like it was building. We're getting close to a crescendo. He then says, "I want you to get within arm's length so I can basically grab you by the throat." Kill shot. That was going to be the end. I felt like we were kind of going up. We're going up. Glasses came off. And for some reason, when we got to that part, get within arm's length, that felt like the least intense part of the whole promo for me. And I'm not sure how or why that dipped right there. But to me, it should have been more get within arm's reach. And I'm going to show, like that's the violence component. Unfortunately, that's where it kind of dipped right at that moment for me. Josh never dipped. Josh showed up on a 10. Josh stayed at a fucking 10. He did all the stuff. He built them up. He told us why he was going to beat him anyway. Wrestling vernacular. What did he say? Disgusting. That popped me so hard. That one line. Going forward, I want a little bit more out of Josh in terms of he's very dynamic. Can we get to a believable level of menace if we have to? I haven't seen it yet. You could probably do it. For this week, based on overall comfort, cohesion, I got to go to Josh Morris. But Trevor, this was hands down the best thing I've seen from you. Keep doing exactly what you did here. Just keep moving that direction.
ABZ? You want to
All
go
right.
next?
Yeah, this was actually maybe my favorite matchup in hindsight of the week. And the reason is because of the dichotomy between the two promos. Davison touched on a lot of things that I had in my notes. And sweet, like the eye contact thing and what you said, perfect. Exactly. I don't need to say anything more. Something that can be taken away for other people watching Trevor Stroud that I liked a lot was when he walks on screen, he talked when he wanted to. He used a moment of silence to set the tone for what he's going to say, right? And I think that that's so valuable to so many people. Yes, you can flick it on and just start going. That's fine, right? But using the silence to your advantage, using the breaks to your advantage, using those pauses effectively, Trevor Stroud did an amazing job at that. It was slow and dynamic. It felt like Jake the Snake at parts. I love that. I agree that it was building to a crescendo and the pop wasn't as big as it could have been. I felt you did come up for that kill shot moment, but I needed a little bit more there, right? Just a little bit more. And I felt like in that moment, you could have maybe stayed in the camera for another second before walking off on it, like to deliver it. Again, you're speaking so much with your eyes. I felt like the vulnerability should have gone away right there with the kill shot. Maybe bring up your vocal a little bit more. And then instead of showing the vulnerability or like the dulled anger, like now your eyes are displaying fucking rage in that moment. and then let them simmer, like show us them simmer back down and then come off camera. Do you know what I'm saying? Where like you're already doing this so well. This is just a little bit of extra chocolate glaze on the fucking sundae. That could have made it better. That was very good. It was a very good promo. I liked it a lot. Now, Josh Morris. Holy shit, man. This is what I wanted. This is everything. This is what I'm talking about, dude. Like, it's crazy because I've known Josh for a while, right? And it would be like, sometimes you'd get like this character that you're seeing, this over the top, obnoxious guy, this craziness, right? And then he has all these bells and whistles, all the canon. He has the saucy verse. He has the, oh, I should be on Big Brother. He has that MTV feel. He has Dobson. He has the music. He has the outfits. But when you strip that all away, it was like on and off, and he could do it, but like, can he hold it? And what's all this other stuff? And now this is like an evolved form. It's like you made the evolution, buddy. You're all the way there. You went from lovable mid-card act, and as far as this competition goes, like lovable mid-card act, now you're a main event threat. Do you know what I mean? And I understand what you're saying, Davison, with the feel of real threat, right? And I do kind of want to see that coming up. But I think Josh's style to bring that through is that maybe Josh Morris never really ever is like that. Like he himself is never like, It's more like, oh, by the way, yeah, here are all these other people who are going to come to kill you. Oh yeah, by the way, I'm going to smash you in the face with a baseball bat. Oh yeah, by the way, here comes like Dobson and some of my hired goons for the day to beat the shit out of you. And oh, by the way, I'm going to laugh the entire time while you bleed out on the canvas. That's so funny. Like, isn't this great? You stupid idiot. Like that. I want to see you convey that maybe a little bit more into the promo. But as far as I'm concerned, this was the number one promo of the week, highest score. This is what I wanted to see. I believed every second of it. I believe that if I grabbed this Josh Morris, threw him out in front of people, you could do this for an hour and a half. No problem. No one would think that this, like, oh, this is really this person. Do you know what I mean? This is really this guy. Like, he's really this obnoxious all of the time. Holy shit. Please, someone save me. Like, yes,
let's interject one big word.
Yeah.
Be entertaining.
So entertaining.
He's so entertaining. Like, you can get through a promo, that's great, but is it interesting and entertaining?
Right.
You got it.
Entertaining.
Yeah.
And
Right.
you hold me for the full 1 minute and 30 seconds
Right.
that you had.
Yeah, if I see this guy at the merch booth versus maybe some of the other characters, like I'm like, oh, I want to buy merch from you just so I can experience you being Josh Morris a little bit.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you're gonna sell more like that. And honestly, how do you keep this guy off the TV screens? How do you keep this guy out of the ring outside of just like wanting to maybe not overexpose that pop too much? But man, like, how do you not give this guy ring time or whatever? You know what I mean? You got to get like, man, talk about a way to get the crowd up.
Right.
Love it. Highest score of the week.
All right. So for me, you know, they've said a lot of those things that I shouldn't have to. I just want to say that Josh brings a energy to his promos that, well, to that promo specifically, that you're just like, you feel it, man. You want to fucking vibe with the dude, man. You know what I mean? Like, he's a guy, like, he reminds me kind of like, and not character-wise, but like as a person, like Matt Riddle. Like, if you've ever met Matt Riddle, he is one of the coolest motherfuckers you will ever meet. Like, to talk to as a fan or whatever, or even as a wrestler, he's just so fucking cool. And, you know, back in the day, he used to smoke down with everybody too. So, like, Josh is the kind of guy that I would want to go meet and say, hey, bro, I got a fucking fatty. You want to go smoke this dude? You know what I mean? He's that guy. You know, he's that guy. I really enjoyed the promo. Trevor, you did a great job here too. The only thing is you went against Josh Morris this week, and he brought a level, one step higher. He went one step higher with the level, not of intensity, but what would you say, just the charisma that he brought in that promo kind of took it for me.
Enthusiasm.
Yeah, there we go. Thank you. That's why you're here. So, yeah, Josh took that one for that. So, Josh Morris on that. Now
Can I say one more thing really quick? I'm
yeah,
sorry.
go ahead, buddy. Go ahead.
this is for everyone else in the competition. Josh Morris was one of the people I laid into the most last season. Am I right, Cody?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I absolutely laid into him. And the reason was because I saw this in him and I knew he could do it. And he phoned it in a couple times and he flashed this, but look, for anyone who's ever felt like maybe we were harsh on them or hard on them or said, maybe we were leaning to the negative, this is what can come out the other end. Mm-hmm. Please see that, right? Keep listening, keep working, keep busting your ass, because this is what comes out. And for me, this was the high, not just the highest of so far of this week. He actually had the highest score of the season so far for me with a 38. So,
ooh, damn.
I absolutely love this one.
It was great.
AVZ is such a nice guy, man. I tell you.
I don't know about that. We'll see about that.
Here's that multiple personalities and all kinds of you might need a little.
Yeah, right. Well, hey, listen. Most improved, I gotta tell you, Fletch Malone. Here we go. Fletch Malone versus Eddie Dillon. So a little backstory on Fletch, just concerning Indie Idol. He joined in. He did a show here in Michigan. We all got introduced to Fletch. I had never met him before. Hung out with him that night. Next night, he came to XI to help out. We hung out that night a little bit too, and then he jumped in on the competition. Came in last year. I don't think Fletch won a match at all last year, right? He maybe won if I'm not mistaken, but I don't think he won a match. But here he is again. He's back, right? He's back again, and talking kind of like what you were saying with Josh, how you harped on Josh last season. We didn't harp on Fletch. We gave him a lot of critiques, gave him a lot of things to work on. He's worked on those things, and it's shown in the last promo and in this one, even with what we gave him from the last one. And this is so much better. And I don't know what the situation is, whatever he's using outdoor backgrounds. Perfectly okay. This time I was able to hear him a lot better than the last one, so that is awesome. That's the thing that sucks about doing outdoor promos, is if you're not using microphones and shit, the outdoors suck sometimes.
He was way closer to the camera. He's probably like half as far from the camera as he was the first time.
And it definitely worked that time. This is a great promo. This is
what
right here. It told me, not only did you tell me about yourself, but it was believable, number one. And it's something that Davison's talked about. We don't know if it's real or not. You know what I mean? But it makes me interested, right? I want more. I want more of the story. And it's so believable for me. Let's see. I could feel it. I could really feel the emotion, right, in this one from you. Like you've lived it. You know what I mean? It was real. I was really drawn in from the beginning with Fletch's promo. I was just like, oh, okay, tell me the story, bro. And I was drawn right in, and from the moment until the end. And I was actually disappointed because I wanted more. And I know that sounds weird because I don't like anything over a minute 30. But from a story standpoint, I've always told everybody, tell me a story. Even in wrestling, when you're wrestling in a match, or you have a series with somebody, or you're doing a program with somebody, tell me a fucking story, right? You were telling me a story, and boy, was I interested. I felt like I was really interested, and I wanted more. I could have sat there a couple more minutes, not a couple more minutes, but maybe a few more seconds for the few more tidbits of information. But I'm glad you didn't, because you hit your time. But you did. But I thought it was great. Eddie, you did a great job with your timing. The timing with you say what you say. The only thing, this was very close for me. And so I really liked Fletch, and I liked what Fletch did here. And I don't have a lot of critiques for Eddie, but I did like his, and I don't have a lot of critiques for Fletch. What I liked, and the one I felt more, and I was like, man, how more interested. This one I gave to Fletch because I didn't give it to him, but I scored it to Fletch because, again, the moment I was in this promo, the minute I turned it on, I was drawn right in. I was in. I was sold, right? That's why he won it for me on this one. Who wants to go?
I will. I got to thinking about between last week and this week, what is it about what draws us in? Human beings are designed for empathy. If you're not sad, but you all of a sudden are around 50 people who are like really crying, you're probably going to, even if you don't know why. Like, we're designed to empathize in that kind of a way. Mm-hmm. Laughter, tears, anger, like you can get crowd affected. So I think the reason we get drawn into Fletch this week is because, like you said, the more genuine it is, the more we're designed to really emotionally hook into it. I like the fact to do what Alex talked about. Like, if we still got the tattoo, but it was just a step in the entire process, exactly what we wanted. Distance was better. Intensity was there. I think that's really the secret ingredient this week is the more vulnerable you are to let us see pain, not just anger, but like, the hurt that is turned into your aggression. That's what really gets the heartstrings. Right. I also want to introduce a concept. I don't know if y'all know this. I used to play in bands, like those metal bands and stuff for a long time. There was a concept we would talk about called riff salad. There's some songs where people write a really catchy hook, and then there's a bridge, and now you're in the chorus, and it's just boop, 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 and it's smooth. Then you listen to death metal where it's part, 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 part. Riff salad. Eddie, this is one of the best promos I've heard from you. The difference between yours and Fletch to me was that Fletch felt a little bit more genuine, so it felt more flowy. Eddie's felt a little bit more riff salad. Identifiable part, identifiable emotion, another identifiable emotion. I like to call back to the vape thing. There's a lot of good stuff there. This round was about cohesion for me and believable emotion. Eddie had really great flashes, but Fletch stayed there longer for me. So good job, both of you, but Fletch for the win this time for me.
ABZ.
Damn, Davison. Like, all I can do is kind of build on what you said because I have the exact same notes. Fletch. But the one thing I think I do have in this one is the canon that Cody said from last season. And here is the difference between Fletch from last season and to this season. Fletch from last season, it felt like a good Fletch promo from last season. I saw Eddie Dillon in a little bit here. And what I mean by that is now it feels like Fletch, you changed your character a little bit and you went from like a bit of a gimmick to like, this is who you are. And right. Whether it's all the way who you are or if it isn't, it doesn't matter. You believe it is, right? You are this person. I can't take that away from you one way or another. And you so seamlessly, you worked in the tattoo, you worked in the I always fight. This time, as opposed to last time, it felt a little bit forced. Now you learn how to like bring that in to make it feel just like another natural part of the flow of what you were saying. You brought in his demons, you brought in yours. Everything felt natural. Keep this up. Build from this. Again, you're good. Like from here, this was really, really good, right? So now the only things I can tell you to go forward from this are like you're going to have to start adding some of the razzle dazzle. And that might look different for you than it does from other people, right? I mean, you're a very real character, right? And so the razzle dazzle isn't necessarily going to come from the special effects. It's not going to come from anything else. It might come from a situation that you're actively in as you tell the promo. It might come or tell the story. I shouldn't say promo here. You know what I mean? Like, find out what that is. Maybe you give a little backstory as to what just happened to you, and now you're gonna add little bits and pieces in there to go from very, very good to great. But this is the best we've seen you. This is a very strong promo, and as far as like there's I used to play cards professionally, and there comes a point where you no longer make mistakes. You can always make the right move. Okay. And I'm going to relate this to poker, not something else, because this is easiest, right? There comes a time where you always know the odds, you always know what you have, and you always know the right move to make. Right. But that is the baseline for that's good. You are good now. Becoming great is when you manipulate the odds. And now not only do you know all of the right moves to make at every single step, you know how to control how other people think, and you're starting to control what they're going to do. You understand what you're doing, and now it's that level change, right? And that exists in everything. That exists in wrestling, in the ring. That exists in this right here. Not just going from doing all of the things that you do really, really well to controlling the environment, right? Now, that's kind of what I want to see from you going forward, is find your way of going from good to great. You know what I'm saying? This is really, really good. Now we're getting into the advanced stuff. We're cooking with gas now. All right. Very, very, very solid. Eddie. Some of the problems here came with congruency, emotional congruency and consistency. I felt like a lot of the regular Eddie was coming through, which is fine if you can find a way to make that work within your character. But thus far, you've been selling us a character that's larger than life. It's very different. It's very like up here, right? You're like, oh my God, like this emotional, like, and you let that vulnerability creep in. But I feel like you let too much of the guy you'd see on the street kick in too much, right? This is a very special, like, kind of a thing here where it's like, you can do that, but not unless you sell me on that kind of a character. Do you understand what I'm saying? Where Fletch is more of a character that you would like, you expect him to kind of like be morosely buying groceries. Your character is more like almost like hiding in the shadows, ready to, you know what I'm saying? Or if you're full blown Batman, you have to be Batman the whole time. You can't switch. And when you're not Batman, you have to be Bruce Wayne. You can't be like, you can't switch between like Bruce Wayne and like Steve in accounting. You understand what I'm saying? I don't know if I'm making any sense here, but there are moments where, hold on, let me pull up my notes really quick because I have a few moments where I pull that up exactly. So when you're the who situation, it's like that didn't feel like it fit with the Eddie Dillon character that I had been being pitched. Right? It doesn't necessarily, it's not wrong and it's not bad. It's just not in line.
Felt out of character.
Yes. It fell out of character for what you were showing me. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I want to see, and you were switching levels pretty consistently, but as you were switching levels, you were letting other parts of the character come through that you weren't really trying to show. Do you understand what I'm saying? So work on that a little bit, work on making your character more natural, decide what you want to show me and what you don't want to show me. And an example of that is like, would it be weird for like Glenn Jacobs to all of a sudden in the middle of a promo, just be like, well, blah, 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 and like start speaking with like full big word vernacular? No, but it would be real weird if Kane started doing that. You know what I mean? So you have to kind of decide which one you're going to be and like go with it, but it's not wrong. You can do both of them. Like, remember when Kane was corporate Kane, he did both, right? But
you have to have a reason to get there. We need to understand how you got there.
Absolutely, Davison. Thank you so much, because I wanted to help with articulating this, and no one articulates better than you. So that was fantastic. Thank you so much, Davison. I think you did a good job, Eddie. You're on the right track.
Yep.
But this one, for me, went to Fletch.
All right. So there's Fletch on that one. So now we're going to move on to this one. And I'm sure there's going to be lots to say here. We're going to move on to Avery Hughes versus Alex Steele. I'll go ahead and start this one out, and I'm going to start it out with Cannonball Alex Steele. Boy, this was a lot better than last week. A lot better. You see in your confidence here. There was a lot more believability in your character here. A lot of things that Alex talked about last week. I believe that you're Cannonball Alex Steele. All right? You know, and this is the Cannonball Alex Steele I'm used to seeing from last season. You know, we know you abruptly had to leave because of your battle with cancer, and you know, thank you that you won that fight. You made me laugh, dude. That was the key there. You made me laugh. Your jokes about Avery were fun. I think you got him and Jason Blazin a little confused, but that's okay. That's okay. For the most part, though, it was funny, and it was all character, and it was a good promo. I enjoyed it. Avery, what the fuck are you doing, bro? I'm gonna be real honest with you, man. I don't feel like anything that we told you the week before you even listened to. Did you even watch? I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm just being honest. come on, bro. You got to step it up, man. Got to step it up. So that's me being nice. So I'm going to let the nicest guy in the building, Alex Van Zant, go next.
I got the last. Yeah.
Ooh. I guess you're the Simon Cowell of this one today, huh? All right, that's fine. Okay, so,
oh yeah, Alex gets the win on that one for me.
Okay, so, Cannonball, this was it. This was it. I love you. This is the Cannonball that everyone wants to run up and hug. You were so charismatic in this. We believed every word that you had to say. You used your body language, and this is what I love about it, right? As opposed to last week where I felt as it kept going, you started getting a little bit less confident. And this one, the more you started going, because I'm telling you, I think I know why. I think it's because you let yourself riff at the beginning. You let yourself riff about, oh, he's 120 pounds soaking wet. I'm so much bigger. And here's the thing, right? That's true. And you believe it. When you start by saying things that you believe, now you believe everything. And now you get yourself into that feeling. And now you're rolling with the punches and you can really start going. And that's a trick that actually Eddie Kingston talks about sometimes. If you watch some of his interviews regarding promos, is he says a few things that are real, and then he can start delivering that because he believes them, right? And then now that he believes and you establish that he believes, and there's nothing you can say that would tarnish that, he can start going and working it into the story. And now we can do two truths and a lie and start working towards what he's saying with that same believability and that same temperance that he had at the beginning. And I think you did that here, but in a very positive way. One thing I really liked that you did is when you said crowd appeal. You brought in that circus voice, but you didn't make it weird. You brought in the circus voice, but just for that one little bit to let me know what you're going to do. And right back into that lovable Cannonball character that we all want to see, we all want to give a hug to, and we all think makes us laugh, that lovable underdog that we're just like, please let this guy win, right? Loved it. You're on the right track here, Alex. You're on the right track, baby. Keep this up. Add some of those bells and whistles. Show us some of those stunts as we go, and I think you're golden. All right, now, Avery. If I'm the Randy Jackson here, I'm gonna be like, that wasn't it for me, dog. That wasn't it for me. Now, I actually do think this was better than last week. What you said was better. The what was better. It was stronger. It made more sense. The what? The delivery. No. The setting. No. Why are you still in the bedroom? We asked you very specifically. Don't do that. Okay? Go to a gym. I know you do shows. I know you train. Do it at the school. That's better than the bedroom, right? Do it at the school. It's better than the bedroom. I know you're there every week. Would it be so bad to pull out the camera and cut it in the ring real quick? Not so bad, right? Grab some dumbbells. Do it like it doesn't matter. Maybe you're in sweats running like Rocky on the street. That's better than where you're at. You know what I'm saying? Use that. Use props. You're doing this weird whisper yell, and that's not really how you talk. And I know that because as the promo goes on, you kind of fall out of it, which leads you to believe that's not really the way you want to talk, or at least you're not comfortable keeping it the whole way. If you can whisper talk, whatever that is, like that, if that timbre feels right, it can be okay under the circumstance that I can believe that's really how you're going to deliver it the whole time, but you're not that way. It's a voice and we can all hear the voice. You know what I'm saying? But if you were talking like that the entire time, and you could bring it up and you could bring it down and you can make me believe that that's really the way that you talk, that would make more sense. But that's not really what you're doing. You're kind of like, you're doing it at the beginning and then it kind of fades away. And then you're like, oh, right. I was supposed to talk like this. It's like, no. Do it or don't. You know what I'm saying? Do it or don't. The lines were good. The emphasis were on the wrong words pretty consistently. Let me pull up some notes for specifics on that if I have them. Yes. When you brought up the kick your ass all over the ring, I wanted you to come up for that. That was one of your punchlines, right? That was one of your kickers. That was something you were building to. That was a spot. So think of it like this, right? You're in a match, all right? And you're setting up your comeback or whatever it is. if your comeback is you're coming out of this, you're not going to take it anymore, whatever. And I'll do this from both perspectives because you are the heel. You're playing a heel right now. So as a babyface, you're coming up from it. You can either like come up from that, double down, and just like, you get up and you see him. Okay, cool. A clothesline, a back elbow, a splash. Come on. Boom. Here's the big, I don't know, shoulder breaker. 1, 2, no. And the crowd will be like, okay, that happened. Or you can take that moment to make a moment. Make a moment. The lines that you're having are setting up to these punches. Make moments on them. Like what we're saying, build to a crescendo. That was when you're going, kick your ass all over the ring. Or it could just be like, that's kind of like the fire up, fucking wham, fucking yeah. Come on, baby. Like that's what I'm talking about, right? And on the flip side, you're a heel, right? You can either turn around and charge into a clothesline, a back elbow, a crossbody, and take the shoulder breaker, or you can be whoa, boom, oh shit! Now I'm selling back a boom, oh shit, boom, no, not the big boom, Okay, now you're helping them, right? That's what I'm talking about. Bring that up. That's a moment, right? That's a moment of the match, just like a match. Your promos have moments and beats, and you're building to them, right? Build to your beats. And don't underplay them. Don't be afraid to go all the way when the moment comes, because that's what's going to sell the promo, right? That's what's going to sell the match. That's what I want to watch, because the way you're building your stuff in your promo, when I watch that match, I want to see that same exact build. You're telling me when I kick your ass all over the ring, that's your high spot, right? In the match. Show me that. Okay. So think about it like that. Maybe that'll help. I don't know, but maybe that's something you can use. For me, this one went to Alex by a lot. Davison.
I have very little to add. I think Alex won this round easily. I like the changes he made. I think they're the good ones. Just like anybody else, what I would say, like, I don't understand. I would never be able to do your character. You're a wholesome, nice person. I don't understand how to do that. So like, that's your expertise. I like coming to you for that. A little bit more in this direction, a little bit more in this direction, like anybody, just a little bit more diversity. But I think, that was the best I've seen you do personally. I'm going to be incredibly specific with Avery, just so we can say it. Stop doing this. Do not do this again. If you got to do anything, sit on your fucking hands. I don't care. When you get in between your sections, you're taking these weird long pauses and you're doing this, and you're either looking at lines or you're looking off screen. I don't know what you're doing, but it pulls me out of it the entire time. Don't do this. Don't do this. Take those fucking glasses off, man. I don't like it when a coach is mean. I did not like it when my trainer was mean to me occasionally, but like, do you even want, I don't know if you want to do this. Like, why are you doing this contest right now? Because it doesn't feel like you even care. I don't want to embarrass you. So like, just do more, man. If you're trying to do something with this, do more. Stop with this. Stop with this. Stop with this. Please, I'm begging you. Alex for the win. I got to go to the bathroom.
Dramatic. Like, it gives you all that. I got to go. All right. So, Alex for the win.
Go.
I will say this, though, Avery, listen. All you got to do is take the notes, make it better, and we're going to get there. And that's why you're doing this. And we're not trying to dog on you. This is all to help you get better, man. So understand that. We're not trying to be dicks or assholes or anything like that.
And like I've said before, I've seen you be awesome, right?
Right.
Just be awesome in this context.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I've seen you be good. Right. I did my research. I watched you. I've seen you be good.
Right. All right.
Just apply it.
So we'll go ahead and we're going to move on to the next one. And when Davison comes in, she can add her 2 cents. But we're going to move on to Mason and Summer. And I'm going to just stop right here on this one. And I want to say that this week, I would say, in my opinion, Mason Keller is the most improved.
Oh, undoubtedly.
By far, from the first round to the second round, by far, most improved. Okay?
This is what I wanted in the first round. This is why I came after him so hard. And he messaged me actually asking, like, I said, look, you flashed. I know what you can do. Like, I know what you got. This is absolutely, like, every single thing that we asked for, he did. Mm-hmm. That is really, really good. Like,
right. Absolutely.
Coachability, right?
Yeah.
I think this is the round of coachability.
Right.
Look at that.
Yeah.
And you know what WWE always, like, whenever I was watching their training videos and whatnot, what they look for is coachability. Whenever I've talked to people who used to be former, you know, if I was asking for my own edification, like, what are they looking for? The number one thing, coachability. Okay, cool. Both of you have it. Great job. Keep that coming.
Yeah.
Cody, you want to?
Yeah, keep going. All right, so most improved by far, Mason Keller, this round to this round, or last round to this round, most improved. So a couple things for me, you like you said, like ABZ said, you did a lot of the things that you asked, or he asked you, or we asked you to do. The one thing is let us know, you know, you're talking about you're the geek god, you're the nerd, you know, give us the props. You used a prop, you brought it into, my problem with it is you left the camera to go get it. And then once you left the camera, I was no longer interested, right? Yeah, it was cool that you brought it in. I'm like, oh, that's cool. But it lost its I don't know the word I'm looking for, but you built to it and then it kind of just fluttered out because, you know, instead of leaving the camera, maybe have it right there, and I'll let these guys say some things that they can help with on that one. But other than that, that's really the only thing I have for you. Great. Oh, one other thing. You did it in one cut, which is awesome, or one take, awesome. We could have taken out the beginning there and the end where you hear somebody telling you the camera's rolling or something, and at the end, when you walk off, you hear somebody talk. Those could have been taken out. But other than that, dude, great improvement. Keep this up. If you keep this going into the next round, you're gonna learn a lot more, and you're gonna get a lot better. Summer. The only thing I can say to Summer right here is she's still kind of doing the looking off thing every once in a while. So you need to work on that a little bit, because sometimes you look away and I'm looking, right? Because Davison said something, now I'm looking at it. And I seen it. And so we got to make sure we get that taken care of, all right? I don't know if you know your lines, or you know what you're saying, and I don't know if it's a believability issue is what it is for most people. What I believe you, but not everybody's going to, right? You did a good job. Just look at the camera. Summer Rawson on this one for me. Moving on. You want to go, Davison? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I want to give Mason credit. He took all the notes. I'm glad to see all of that. I saw improvement across the board.
Absolutely.
One thing I would do, because we had talked about, you know, what do we do if we can't edit, and if I have to have something in the beginning and something at the end. If you've ever seen me work live, you've seen me bully a referee or a ring announcer or a fucking commentator or a fan or all of the above. It's just extra character work, right? You do a promo, guess what you got? An invisible camera person.
Mm-hmm.
You can wrap that right in. Are we ready to go? Is that set? Good. Get the fuck out of the way. Here's my promo. All right, are we done here? Turn it off, and you walk off. Like, now you've wrapped it in, and you're an asshole because you're picking on this poor person. More character work, right? So you can get some little tricks in there, and it works. Don't steal my shit. Rawson. Here's what I like about what you're doing. I like that you're positioning yourself as this kind of predator, like apex predator type. You're doing well. So I have some like really specific notes for you. There's a section towards the end where you said you brought in his character, no cheat codes, no this or that, no other codes to dissect. It's a small thing. There's a lot of words in the vernacular, and you're well spoken. If you hear yourself in one sentence say the same word twice, especially with you and your skill level, I'd reset and do it again. It's a small detail, but that sets things apart. I wouldn't have noticed it except that it was really noticeable, right? Another thing, because people want to do the reset, and it looks like we're trying to remember, but you're an intense character, right? I've done stuff before where I'm trying to demonstrate that I'm going to actually murder somebody, and I have to do a reset. So what I've done is I'll talk, and I get right here, and then while I'm resetting, I'm still staring at that camera like, another thing, like, you know, it's just like the intimidation factor of like getting in somebody's space, making that eye contact. That's more threatening to me than like breathing hard and looking around like stare at them, scare the fuck out of them, like stay there. But I like your performance overall. I like the intensity. Just keep ratcheting up what you're doing. Rasslin for sure.
ABZ, you're next up.
I want to hug you, Davison. You hit like you hit some of the things that I thought I was going to be the only one to notice. Codes twice in the same thing. Absolutely right. And we'll start with Mason since I already started there. Great job with all taking all of the advice, right? One of the things that I did say, and this is again, I'm going to kind of bring together both Cody and Davison's critique on this one. Using that bit at the beginning, and then also having like to go off screen to grab the prop. Make the invisible character give you the prop, right? They're there for you. Have them do it, right? Play with that invisible character. I said this earlier in this video / stream. Use everything to your advantage. Invisible camera person, that's someone to play with. The background, that's something to play with. Hey, you didn't need to, but here's something you really blue background. This is the best you got. I'm a geek god. I was promised, dragons. I was promised a medieval set. What is all of this? What is this? Level 1? Come on, step it up, guys. You know what I mean? Yelling at people.
Amateur hour. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm not saying you have to do that. I'm saying that like everything that is in your environment is yours to play with. You're the superstar, right? You're the one who gets to move around. And you know what? This time, Mason, you felt like a superstar. You felt larger than life. You felt like a character. You felt like someone I wasn't going to run into at the Kmart, right? And I say Kmart because from that first video, that's where I would have assumed you shop. Now, that being said, in this one, this is somebody that I would assume I would walk into a GameStop or whatever, and they'd be like, that's an interesting choice as you were to buy everything. And I'm like, yes, that's exactly what I want, right? This like over the top person where it's just like, well, actually, noob, right? Maybe throw noob in there. Why not? Call people noobs. That's in your vernacular, right? I loved it. The glasses were good. Play off the things that you have. And again, you could cut that beginning or you could keep it. And then also but if you're going to keep it canon throughout, right? Summer, you did a good job of playing off of other people. You brought someone else in. You did exactly what you needed to do with that. That was very, very good. And again, I think you're doing great. You're evolving and you're listening and you're at the baseline of good now, right? But now we need to go from good to great. And what we're going to do here is look at the minutia, just like Davison did, and we're going to amp up on that. So, what do I have in my notes that were very specific? So, as I go through this, as you have intensity, but it's going back and forth. So what I'm saying is when you said, I thought I'd be breaking his damn bones, that I didn't believe you. Okay. But when you said, break you like a twig later on, I did believe you. And here is why. Sorry, one sec. I'm on my Mac right now. I don't use it that often. So that said, the intensity is like the difference between at the beginning, that first line was kind of like the Summer Rawson that is playing a wrestler. And then the last one, sap you like a twig, you said it like Summer Rawson, the wrestler. Do you understand what I'm saying when I say that? Davison, do you understand what I'm saying when I say that?
Yeah, I do.
I feel it. Right. You're floating back and forth between a good impersonation of a wrestler and the wrestler themselves. And so that's going to come with time. That's going to come with finding it. You already have it, right? You already have how that character should sound. It's just a matter of blending it all together. Now, eventually, maybe that character does end up sounding like they were at the beginning, but it'll flow more naturally with your actual like body language and tone and cadence and pauses and how you actually do your normal body language through this better. And you can evolve it and change it and make it more like this and make it more like that as you go on. But this is just kind of that next level thing where you have to start looking at not just how you say it, how you set up into it, your body language going into it, the exact timbre you use when you deliver something, the words that you emphasize, the syllables in the words that you emphasize, et cetera, et cetera. And again, Davison said it perfectly by saying codes twice in the same line, that kind of thing. That it is what it is. That's that next level stuff, right? And you're heading towards that. So keep it coming. Mason, just keep going. Keep practicing, keep hitting it, make it feel more natural, bring in more things with your character. So far, so good. And one thing that I will applaud you for more than anything else in this round, Mason, is you did the research. You knew there isn't a ton on Summer, but the little that there is, you learned it, you used it, you incorporated it into your promo. And for that, I give you a lot of props. For me, this one goes to Summer, but this one was not very, but it was close. It was close.
Right. So
Cody, I want to add one more thing because I forgot I wanted to do this. This is for Summer and Annie, and just anybody else who's kind of listening. I know a lot of people still have a sour look when it comes to intergender wrestling, and they have their own reasons. So that's fine, I guess. I happen to think it's goofy because we suspend disbelief for a lot of stuff. It just seems to get into personal politics, whatever. But the fact of the matter is, if you're going to work as a female in wrestling right now, you're probably going to wind up in some intergender situations. There is such a fucking treasure trove of stuff to use when you're wrestling against a man, and it's not that hard to do. Summer, you said you shook his hand, you felt the flesh. Your handshake was confident and ambitious. His was weak. Imagine how a guy would feel if you say his felt impotent.
Good word choice there. I fucking love it.
I grabbed your hand and it was flaccid, soft, ineffective. You know what I mean? Some way to insult a guy to his fucking core. I was just down at RSP show the other night. This is a lesson too. Always ask to shoot your shot. I was like, hey, can I cut a promo? Nobody else wants to. Go ahead. Can I cut it in the beginning of the show? I don't see why not. Word, let's do that. So he's cutting his promo at his own show. I interrupt him, and what did I do? I said, I came here because you're the prodigal son come home because of all of your fucking failures throughout your whole career. And I'm here to sweep up your mess. And the people are like, that's Ricky Shane Page. And I'm like, fuck him and fuck you. Like, belittle. If you can do that to guys, especially, you're a feminist nightmare. Bring that to the table. It works. Trust me. Belittle the guys.
And on that, I'm sorry, Davison, I didn't mean to cut you off. In that, like, we're good. You also kind of, in a way, shit test the other guy too to say, will you go into the tropes or will you be able to stay in character to fight that back? You're putting them on their toes. I love it.
You and I know that's fun because you're having a meta situation now to see if they can keep up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's fun.
Like, will you fall into the trap that I accidentally set, or will you be able to play ball? And if they can play ball, now you're off to the races.
Are we talking about the backdoor trap? Or are you talking about the
Hey, don't threaten me with a good time.
Oh, snap. All right. Well, now we're going to move on. We got 2 left, 2 to go over, and we're going to move on to Jason Blazin in the Great Tiger. Davison, you want to start that one out?
I do, and I want to give credit to both guys.
Okay.
I still hope that the Tiger was playing a game last week, not knowing about the ice cream thing. I'm just going to go ahead and assume that was the case. I found it interesting that some English found its way into this. I thought that was good evolution. I don't know if that's ever happened live or not, but I thought it was important for that to happen.
Yeah.
I feel like Blazin took everything we said and applied it. I think it was infinitely better than the last one. I think really between the two of them, I thought, which of these works in a live setting? They're so different. They would both work. That's when I said to myself, if all things are equal, which one is more entertaining? And that's where I would actually go with the Tiger on this round. If it hadn't been for the injection of some English and it was still the exact same joke, I would have said Jason Blazin this time, specifically because at least it was catching to like a standard promo paradigm. Right. Since they both got into that field, I'm looking at entertainment this time, and I will give that to the Tiger.
All right, ABZ.
All right, much improved, both of you. You both listened. I loved it. Let's start with Jason. I liked the setting. You explained the setting. You did a great setup. You set it up exactly the way that I think intro to promos should be set up in every single like wrestling show. Like, if you're going to learn how to cut a promo, this was the who, what, where, when, why, get into it type thing. Now, again, on entertainment, I think you need to step it up a little bit here, and also on character depth. And here's why. You're leaning very heavily on your championship, which can be good, And it can be so the championship and the fact that you're a champion is kind of an accessory of your character, not your character itself. Because who are you without it? Championships are won and lost. Okay. And sometimes, when you win a championship, that can be many things in a promotion, right? Maybe that's, and this is not from a front facing standpoint. This is kind of on a meta standpoint. It can be a reward for good work. It can be, we trust you, but it can also be, hey, we're going to put this title on you to elevate your character. And that's what it feels like right now a little bit. Like the title is elevating you. Now, I think in the best compliment situation, a title is put on you in order to elevate the title itself. So that's what happens after you've proven you're a great champion is we're going to put this title on you to elevate the division, right? You're going to elevate this championship. You're going to make this feel like it's the most important thing in the world. And you are making it feel very important. But I think that title is kind of making you feel more important than you are making the title feel itself. Does that make sense? Like it's a good prop, but I think you need to understand that it is a prop and an elevator, not necessarily everything that you are, right? Like for example, like maybe my cup, as Davison has said in the past, can be like something that you remember. It's something that I use. It's a weapon and it's a reminder of my character, but I am not the cup. If I don't have the cup that day, it doesn't matter. I'm still going to be able to do my character and everything without it. I don't even need to make mention of the cup. I can win without it. I can be there without it. I don't have it all the time. It's fine. It's an extension of who I am. And that can be with a lot of people. Like Annie has her book. This is something that for you as well, Annie, like think about what I'm saying when I'm saying this stuff as well, right? Someone who uses a prop as part of what they have. Now, I like what you said. I think that you did drone a little bit within the promo. I felt like you were kind of saying the same thing over and over a little bit within the context of the promo itself. I think maybe clean that up a little bit, have more to say, start thinking about it a little bit more. And I think once you're willing to divulge more about your character itself, I think you'll have more to say and it'll feel more natural. Overall, good promo. So I would say a solid promo, right? It wasn't, if you sent this in and I was a promoter, I wouldn't feel that this was offensive. I would put it up, no problem. This is good. This is what you do. As far as Great Tiger, I thought this was a lot better than last week. And I think that this is the route that you should be going. I think it's very good. Using the English was smart and wise, and I think it was a necessary adaptation of this character. However, I think going forward, what I would like to see is for you to use the English to your advantage more than you did here. And when I say that, I mean like use it as almost your punch, right? You use that like instead of a building to a crescendo where you yell, maybe all of a sudden, boom, that's where the English comes in and I'm taking it very seriously. And you start the English there and that's where it is, like build to the English, or maybe even like throw it in every now and then for comedic effect. But it's your punchline and it's your comeback. It's not a part of what you're doing necessarily. Don't use it like a arm drag. Use it like a superplex. Do you understand what I'm saying with that? Use it as a big moment within your character. And another thing I'd like to see is help me understand what you're saying through tiger. Tiger. Like make it bigger. Make
Right.
tiger.
Yeah.
Make it feel bigger because I know you do that live. And without the audience playing off that character, this is a sing-along character, right? Where live, like you can do the whole tiger, and then the crowd, tiger, right? You're doing the sing-along style. I can't really do that as much here. But like you can actually, what's funny is you can actually do it here where like, again, the invisible cameraman, this is the thing. It's like tiger. And then you're just like looking at the camera, like, come on. And then there's like tiger, tiger. And it's like tiger. And then by the end you have the cameraman. The cameraman is me, right? I'm on the other side of that camera too. Maybe the camera is your audience, right? Maybe the tiger is like is reading a book to like children, right? Or maybe even one child in that I know you may or may not have access to. Maybe you're reading story time to like one specific
All right. So, Blazin came in on time. I just wanted to add that on this one. So there was that. Yes. What I like about this match overall is the fact that, well, not the match, but Tiger, more specifically, is that we are watching the evolution of a character in real time. Right?
Yes.
This would not have happened had, and this is my honest opinion, I don't think this would have happened had he and not the Great Tiger been in Indie Idol this season. You know what I mean? Not right now, anyways. Maybe later on down the road, but not right now.
I know what you're saying. Like it may have happened, but there wouldn't be a reason to have to, because it works. I'm sure it works live perfect. I've not seen it live, but there's no reason to change it if it's working. Right,
and that's exactly it. So yeah, we see the evolution. We see a little bit of English, and I didn't really think about it until ABZ said it, and like I felt like there was a little something was missing, and it wasn't that something. That's what I was thinking. It wasn't that something was missing. It's what ABC said. It was where the English was used. That's what it was. Now that I listen to ABZ, that's exactly what it was. I do like the Voorhees, the Jason Voorhees, and the mask and the whole thing talking about there. I like that, and I'm connecting more with his character, because now it's a little bit more relatable because I can understand him, right?
Racist. I'm kidding. Speak English and I'll like you more time.
Oh, fuck. Oh, man. Here we go. I've been called everything now.
I like you better now you speak English.
Yeah, you damn rat and tat motherfucker.
Just walked into it. I'm having an intervention with Cody. Alex is being a fucking racist towards the Great Tiger.
Oh, of course, a straight white man over there being racist. Of course. Wow.
Typical. Typical.
Fuck
species. That's not only is he endangered class, that's an endangered creature. How dare you?
Okay. Anyways, I gave that win to Great Tiger. I didn't give it to him, but yeah, this one was by 1.5 points, right? So.
I like that you're doing half points. That's great.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I have to. It's just otherwise we'll have ties. Last matchup of the night, and so you were talking about ABZ, how you had Josh Morris scored the highest. Well, this match, and for me, this match and the Jamie Turtle match saw the two highest scores. They're tied for the two highest scores here. But we're gonna, Ethan James versus Coco T. Ware. This was by far for me. And I don't know about y'all, but this one was by far the hardest one for me to judge, because this is the one where you have to go through with a fine-tooth comb and start picking and finding the things that are wrong. And I don't like doing that. I don't. I like finding all the positive things, but because these two were so evenly matched up, in my opinion, that you had to go through and find things, right? I did anyways. And what I find wrong might not be the same as what Davison and ABZ does, because they're looking at a lot more things than I am, because I don't even know what ABZ is looking for half the time. But anyways, I do want to say both great promos, right? Both great promos. Both did it with no edits, it looks like to me. One cut. Good and gone. And I wrote in here, these are both great promos, and I had to go through them to find small things in order to actually judge it, which meant that these promos, these two promos, I watched the most because I had to go back through it and 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 back through it. And Coco, dude, you have got charisma, bro. You could be doing commercials. You could be doing all kinds of great things, man. You got something. You got something. And if you're not doing commercials after Indie Idol's done, I'm going to come over there and smack you or something. But you're good, dude. You are good. I'm just flabbergasted with how good you are. You know what I mean? And don't take that the wrong way, because this isn't something you do. You don't get in the ring and cut a promo. You're not a professional wrestler. Don't take that the wrong way either. We know that. You're not. You're a character. So for you to come in here and to do what you're doing on this level blows my mind. So keep doing that, man. Holy shit. Ethan, again, great promo, but again, I had to find a couple things wrong. There was a couple spots where you tripped up on your words. And I didn't see that with Coco. Coco was a straight shot, one and done, and it was over. You know what I mean? And it was right now. And I was talking to Davison. I really don't think that he practiced that thing. I really think that he just sat down, turned on the camera, and hit it and went. And that's what professional wrestling promos are all about.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So, Ethan, I love you, brother. And by the way, Ethan's part of On the Forklift podcast, so make sure you give them a follow on Twitch. All right. And I think they're on YouTube too. So, but Ethan, I love you, brother, but Coco got you on that one. So I give Coco the win on that one.
I'll go second.
All righty.
I've been trying to figure out how to say it, and I think I just got it while you were speaking. We talked earlier about cohesion, and we talked about dynamics. What I noticed with Ethan, because I didn't have the same experience with Ethan's first video, you two were like real hype on all the wordplay and everything, which is spectacular. But what I noticed at that point was more the lack of variation. So there's really good language, there's a great script, but the performance wasn't really popping for me. What I realized specifically this time, in the first part of the promo, he said, I can't explain how excited I am to be here. But he was not remotely excited. And then later on, he said, I'm the hoochie daddy. But he said it the exact same way that he said he was excited. Same face, same volume, same tone. There wasn't any fluctuation. So the note I wrote was, you almost suffer from adding details without payoff. If I say I'm excited, you got to show me. If you say you're a sexy hoochie daddy, show me. If you can't show me, don't say it. You can't say it and not do it. If you're not showing it, you're telling us. And I love the bit about musty loads. Like, you had some really clever stuff in there. But performance-wise, if you were giving us a range of language that was supposed to display different emotions, you weren't giving me any. Coco, I don't even know how to. You're right. He opens his mouth and a fucking waterfall happens, and at the end we're like, did that work? That worked. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I will say I like that he did take our notes. I got less, the voice was kind of the same, but there were less dusty isms. I definitely noticed that.
Yes.
I noticed more like an individual thing coming through with the same sound, but more of a personal approach to it. I don't know what the fuck you were wearing. I thought it was great. I happen to think it's funny that your hands are right in my face. Like, some people might hate that. I think it's tremendous. I don't know why. I actually was a little touched when you did the dedication. I'm trying not to do this as being just a fan, but I think that objectively speaking, you just hit the notes more consistently and more congruently. Ethan, you had a tremendous script. I need more of a performance out of that. For that reason, Coco for the win for me.
Right. So I will start with Coco here. Speaking of hitting the notes, the way that Coco talks, especially without, like, again, the dusty isms, because, like, what I would say from the first one to this one is that you almost toned it back in the best possible way. Do you know what I mean? To make it more you. It was very you. And I believed everything that you were saying. Not that I didn't in the first one, but it was just like, that was a lot. You know what I mean? It was a lot. And when you get into a lot, it's like, okay, almost everyone suffers from like bigger. You need to be bigger. You need to be bigger. You're so big that it's like, so that you can get all the way back up there, right? And you can deliver a more believable, rounded character. And this time you did it. You hit it. I loved it. Don't hear what I'm not saying. Just because I gave Josh Morris the highest this week, you were right behind him, okay? This was the second highest performance of the week, which, again, burying the lead as to who won this. But, stay tuned for critiques. Now, something I really liked about this that I noticed for sure was that you said multiple times, the black man, boom, the black man, boom, the black man, boom. And I loved it because you kept on saying things about you. That is you. That you are the black man, Coco T. Ware. And you said it and you let me know, but you didn't overdo it. I think you said it like 3-ish times. But you did it in a row and your cadence sounds like you're singing. Speaking of hitting the notes, it's like you're singing, right? You're bringing it up and you're bringing it down and you're bringing it up and you're bringing it down. Sometimes in the same sentence, sometimes you're changing it up, but it always feels like I'm on a ride, like it's like soothing. It's like an ASMR of promos. It's great, right? But with hype. And I liked that quite a bit. Now, in order to critique a promo like this, now we're getting into like the real minutia, right? We're getting into the real thick bog. We're getting into the quicksand here because things that I can say that I think might make you better are things that I can say that might accidentally make you worse, right? So it's going to take figuring it out on your own in a certain way at this point for you to go to the next level. You are very creative. We're going to see that. So for those who are not Coco T. Ware, who are going to listen to this part of the critique, one of the things that I think make this very, very good, and I think I've said this before, is that I think that the way you, Coco, approach your promos is how I think I approach them, as well as some other people who, have done this for a while and like have evolved themselves. And again, I'm still evolving. We all are. But I think this is the highest ceiling level of promo, and this is why. If you essentially think about, once you have your character down 100%, and you think about where you're going, you know what you're going to end with, you know where you're going, you know your little moments, you know the beats that you're trying to hit. Don't just necessarily turn it on and go. Think about those little things and try to incorporate them, and then turn it on and go. Now, you're going to hit what you need to hit when you need to hit them. You're going to, where you're going, what timbre you need to get there, and you know how you're going to end, and you ended on a big babyface moment. I loved that very, very much with the dedication. Sometimes dedications feel like forced. I think the reason that it didn't feel forced here was because you built it in properly, right? You built it in by not going, bah, 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 bah. Oh, and by the way, I think that was a really good way to do it. You put a lot of your punches towards the middle and you brought it back down. You brought the ba 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 ba. You put your like high spots kind of in the middle to where like you're ending high, but not at a level that you can't reproduce going into this dedication. And then you delivered the dedication. That was absolutely beautiful. And that's a good way to do it. Actually, it's a great way to do it. I shouldn't say good here. Fantastic. I know I talked to you a little bit outside of this. You did everything that I asked for and then some. Keep it coming. Ethan, I thought this was weaker than your first promo. And I think the reasons were just the few little slips there. Clean those up, run this one again. I think this is something that would have been a lot better if you did this maybe like 10 different takes and picked the best one. I think this is a promo that could have been a lot stronger. I thought it was strong, but I thought it could have been stronger. Okay, and there's going to be a learning curve here. I thought this was very good. Don't hear what I'm not saying. I think one of the problems with Davison, I don't want to just regurgitate what Davison said because she was absolutely 100% right. about those levels, vocally and emotionally. That was absolutely right. Something I can add on to that, I think, is I want you to say it with your eyes. Your body language is there, but your emotion through your eyes isn't quite there. You are wearing the glasses. That can take away from it. Maybe take them off to add. But even with the glasses, I can see your eyes, and they feel one note the whole time, kind of. As opposed to look at like Trevor Stroud, he talked more with his eyes than he did with his mouth, to be honest. If you can add both of those things together, you're going to be in business. All right. So there's that. And there was something where like I felt a little bit of a voice coming through at times. And I was just like, what's this voice? What are you doing here? What's all this? Right. I don't know if that's on purpose. I don't know where that's going to go. We'll see. But like maybe if you listen to it back and hear it and see it, you can kind of figure that out. This is again one of those things where this one felt more like you had more written material for it, right? And that's also not wrong. You have a bunch of written material, you can go and go and go and go and go and pick the best one. You're going to be in business a lot more so than you were here. This felt like, you know, maybe not the rough draft, but it felt like this was not as developed as it could have been with 4 or 5 more takes.
This felt like a script reading as opposed to the actual play. Like we're at the table reading the script. I need the next part.
Right. This felt like, you know, if it's a performance, this felt like a dress rehearsal, and you delivered it at the dress rehearsal, as opposed to like if this troupe has been performing, even like it's not necessarily wrong to script your stuff and go. Sometimes you can be really, really good doing that. Right. I don't necessarily think I think eventually you hit a level where it's better to not do that. But some people are really, really strong with a script. You can be really, really great, you know, at reading that. But the trick with that is that you really have to do it over and over and over and over and over for it to feel supernatural. So not supernatural like Jamie Turner, but you know what I'm saying.
Can I add something real quick just for Avery Hughes, because he messaged me. He says that the Buckeye Brutes do not enjoy my cup, and I say fuck the Buckeyes. Okay, go ahead. Okay.
I mean, they might enjoy that. So be careful with that. I don't know what they're doing down there in Columbus. But that being said, yeah, just keep going. Keep doing this. You're good. You're funny. The funny is great. Watch stand-up, I think. A little bit of stand-up, because like your style is so comedic, right? The more stand-up you watch, the more your timing will be on point. Not that your timing isn't on point, but the better, it's just gonna get better and better and better.
The timing's not on point though. I'm not trying to be mean.
Oh, you're right.
If you're telling jokes, you got to leave a gap for the laughs.
So what I'm also saying in counter to that is he is leaving gaps for the laughs. They're just not the right gaps. Do you know what I'm saying? There you go. So like you're doing the things, but like you need to refine them a little bit more. So far, so good as far as I'm concerned. This would have beat other people, but like not everyone. And so you're flashing. You're showing me that you can be there at the end. You're showing me that you can fight for that title. You just got to refine it, man. You just got to refine it and talk with your eyes, please, and bring a little bit more emotion. That's all. It'll be there. It'll be there. Just got to keep working on it, you know? So keep grinding. Coco wins it for me this week. Coco, keep doing what you're doing. Keep grinding yourself. You're going to go from good to great real quick.
All right.
If you're not,
Cody, just real quick. This is to piggyback on that. When we're summarizing, saying some people seem to have that hesitation moment, some people have a little missed word or whatever. I think the difference between people who are winning and those who are not maybe winning, if you hit stop at the end of that promo and you say, good enough,
it's not good enough.
Then it's not. Exactly right. That's all I wanted to say.
Really good piece of advice. I like that. That sounds like something my Sabanin would tell me. All right, so let's review real quick, just so we're going to review, and then I can tell you who your matches are for next week, and then I'm also, we're going to throw the well, I wouldn't say it's a stipulation. I think it's more of like parameters. We'll say parameters. Okay. All right. So to review, we had the Spider versus Annie. The Spider got all 3 votes. Jamie Eternal versus Road Rash, all 3. Josh versus Trevor. Josh got all the votes. Fletch versus Eddie. Fletch got all the votes. Avery Hughes versus Cannonball Alex Steele. Alex Steele got all the votes. Wow. Mason Keller versus Summer Rawson. Summer Rawson got all the votes. Jason Blazin versus the Tiger, the Greek Tiger. The Tiger got all the votes. And then Ethan versus Coco T. Ware, or Ethan James and Coco T. Ware got all the votes on that one.
Wow.
Yeah.
No split decisions.
We don't compare notes ahead of time either.
No, we do not. And that's part of the reason why we don't do that, so we all take in. I will tell you guys this is there are people outside of this competition that have asked me specifically to send them links or send them the playlists that are involved in professional wrestling in the state of Michigan specifically, because they are interested and they want to know. And one of them works very closely with XICW, and the other one is trained by Malcolm Monroe II, which is DBA. So the other one, and then, but they're paying attention, just so you know. There's people.
Are you telling me Malcolm's paying attention to promos now? That motherfucker last year was watching my round, gave me shitty scores, and said, "I don't watch promos. I'm coming to Detroit."
No, I'm saying
be really nice to you because you'll fucking kill me if I'm not.
Well, I'm saying somebody that was trained by DBA is watching. That's what that is. So, all right.
I'm in character.
Okay. Oh, okay. So Davison had a really great idea for the next round. So I guess it wouldn't be. We can maybe Davison can add to this, but. So what it's going to be is y'all are going. So you're facing each other, but you're former tag team partners. All right, you are former tag team partners, and now have to have a match against each other. All right. Do you want to take that any further?
Yeah, for sure. I don't care how we assign it. Why don't we do this? Why don't you name who the matchups are, and then Alex and I will just arbitrarily say heel face.
Okay. Does that work?
Well, hold on. I don't think that we should pick heel or face. I think that they should both be able to pick that on their own because, yeah, it can be heel versus heel. It can be face versus face. Also, by the way, this is a stronger idea than my spit swapping make-out match idea. So
there are more rounds to come.
More rounds to come, you say?
Ooh.
We'll find out.
All right, so here we go. Here are your matchups for the next round. Get your pens out. This one's going to be it. So, this is going to be a good one. Here we go. Are you ready? Josh Morris, the saucy boy, facing Coco T. Ware. Oh, boy.
What the fuck was that tag team like?
Here we go.
Loud. It was loud.
Loud.
Jamie Eternal versus the Spider.
Whoa! All right.
All right.
Okay.
The Great Tiger versus Alex Steele.
Ooh, that's what a character battle.
That's like a cartoon waiting to happen. That's great.
Road Rash versus Trevor Stroud.
Okay. Two serial killers.
Summer Rawson versus Annie O'Neill.
Ooh, love it.
Ethan James versus Fletch Malone.
Okay.
Mason Keller versus Eddie Dillon.
All right.
And then Jason Blazin versus Avery Hughes.
Cool.
So, All right, now you want to go on.
I want to say something really quick.
Go ahead.
I think that we need to set some parameters here. I would like it to be that just so that this doesn't get too weird. Here's to add to your scenario, and Davison, please, no, me, Cody, please, no, me, and we can change this to however you want. But I think it should be that neither of the people have had physical contact before. No one has dumped either before. There hasn't been a Marty Jannetty barbershop situation yet. And both of you were former tag team champions. You just both lost it, and don't make it canon as to who the person who got pinned to lose it was. Because otherwise, both of you might sit there and be like, well, you got pinned to lose the title. Well, you got pinned to lose the title. It's like, well, both of you didn't. Do you know what I mean?
What if we said this? They're allowed to contact who their opponent is now. They could work that out behind the scenes if they wanted to.
I kind of think that they shouldn't do that yet. Just because we don't, like, that gives certain people advantages to others, and some people are just gonna have,
Okay.
some people are just going to be able to use advantages over it. You understand what I'm saying?
No idea. Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so there is no stipulation in the match. It's just a standard match then, right? There's no stipulation.
Match.
And it's
The
just
situation. You've never wrestled before. Never wrestled before. You were the tag team champions. You lost them. It doesn't matter who got pinned. Okay. You can say you lost it for the team. That's fine. That can mean anything. All right. And also you haven't had physical contact yet.
all right.
So the meat of this thing is really tell us why you're going to face each other or why you want to. That's the whole point. Why are you having this animosity, right?
Make it up. Have fun. Tell a story.
Yeah.
Former tag team partners. All right. So there it is. I'm going to just one more time tell you the matches for the next round, and then we'll get out of here. Again, thank you to everybody that has tuned in. Thank you to all the participants. You guys are awesome. We very much appreciate you. Don't forget to smash the thumbs up. So, going into round 3, in your first matchup, it is the undefeated Josh Morris versus the undefeated Coco T. Ware. It is the undefeated Jamie Eternal versus the undefeated The Spider. And then we have the Great Tiger with 1 win, 1 loss. Alex Steele with 1 win, 1 loss. We have Road Rash versus Trevor Stroud, both 1-1. We have Summer Rawson versus Annie O'Neill, both 1-1. Then we have Ethan James versus Fletch Malone, both 1-1. And then we have Mason Keller versus Eddie Dillon, who are also, 0-2, I think. Okay, I don't know. I have to look. And then we have Jason Blazin versus Avery Hughes, both 0-2. So there we go. That's your next round. Again, thank you. Thank you, ABZ. Thank you, Davison Sarai. Again, that's taking your time out to come in here and hang out. All of you wonderful competitors out there and everybody watching, don't forget this wonderful new, that thing.
Disappearing belt.
Yeah, I disappeared too. Look at that. Woo.
Man, it's too fancy for this technology.
Yeah, I know. It's because I'm not using my green screen. But whatever happens. Hey, it's going to be a good time. So, again, thanks, everybody. Oh, time limit. They're asking time limit. Yeah, 1 minute, 30 seconds again. All right. 1 minute, 30 seconds is a good amount of time for a promo.
And full production, any production they want, right?
Yeah, you can anything you want to do. We're back to the same old. However, make it worth it. Do you know what I mean?
Something else real quick.
Yeah.
So for storytelling purposes, like, again, since we're not assigning a heel or face, look into that person's canon, make the decisions as to, if you're facing a baby face, it's your goody way. Is that we're the reason that we lost the titles, whatever. If you're facing a heel, it's because you would never play it straight. If you just use heart and you did things the right way, we would still be champions. Blah, blah, blah. If it's babyface versus babyface, you can figure it out. Like, you're my brother. I don't, I never thought it would come to this, but we do it. Just, what I mean? Stay within your own character. Consider what the other characters are to create your scenario. No one walked out on the other person necessarily, unless you want to make that canon, whatever you want to do. But again, no one hit each other. We don't know who got pinned. It doesn't matter. Go from there. Tell your story. Be creative. Right. Sorry.
You're good. I'm sorry. I'm typing in letting them know what they're all asking questions already. Okay. All right. We're going to get out of here. You guys have a good night. Thanks for joining us. We are out. Peace.
This is Rasslin Rage. This is Rasslin Rage. This is Rasslin Rage. Cody Fleming is the man who leads the brigade. This is Rasslin Rage. This is Rasslin Rage.